It's Trace, and I'm here tonight with Joa from Paris, France. How cool is that? And before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone, email me at tracefaceit@gmail.com if you're interested in doing coaching with me, one-to-one coaching. Also, if you're interested in doing groups, I'm putting groups together every month now, and I have a prayer and fast that we do every month as well. And I want to say real quick, I'm wearing another gift given to me by Procopius Canning, and I can't thank you enough. I know a lot of you would see his screen name, and that's what he goes by, um, PC on YouTube here. And along with this gift, he gave me his books, and so I'll be plugging that. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm planning on doing another video tomorrow, so I'll be plugging his stuff and some other amazing gifts that I received recently. So I'll talk about that, and I don't want to waste Joa's time. So, Joa, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Joa is like very, very well spoken, and not only that, her story, I mean, not that that's like the most important thing, but you really are. And and her story, I think, is going to encourage a lot of you to hear and to know like where she came from and where she's headed now. And so I just kind of want you to feel comfortable with everybody. And I will, if you're okay with this, Joa, I'm gonna I'll pin one of your comments to the channel. So if people want to talk to you afterwards, they can find you and be able to know who you are when you're on the channel. Does that sound good?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So why don't you just start telling us your story, and the subject matter just comes naturally of what you've gone through here. So
So on NPD, you mean?
yeah, just tell us when you met the narc and how all of this all happened for you, and how you've gotten to this point. And I'll probably, as we know, I'll interrupt and have commentary along the way.
That's fine.
Okay.
So I met my NAC about 10 years ago. So I was 20 years old. So I'm French. I was in Australia back then. We met so in Australia. He's from New Zealand. We met in a share house, and I wasn't looking for anything at the time, but I was quite intrigued by him, I guess. And one thing led to another. Things went really quick. We moved in together. Just typical narc behavior. Just things went extremely quick. Within, I think, about 2 weeks, we were already living together. Told me he loved me and all that jazz.
You
Um,
were 20, right, Joa? You were 20. So had you had any relationship previous to this?
no,
He was
no,
your first relationship.
yes,
Oh.
he was my first. It was my first relationship. I had nothing to compare him to, so I fell right into the trap. So things started to go awry as soon as we moved in together. I remember feeling one day I woke up and I felt really oppressed, very, very stressed out, and just things were not going really well. But I had nothing to compare him to, so I had no idea what I was stepping into.
About how long into the relationship was this that you felt that like,
Very fast, I'd say a month.
okay,
Very, very fast.
okay.
He was 23 at the time, or 22, so a couple of years older than me. And it was my first relationship, so I had no idea what I was dealing with. And also, he looked so harmless, very, shy, didn't speak much, very introvert, all of this. And I just thought, compared to, other guys in the house and stuff like that, I just thought this guy's harmless. Like, he's never going to do anything to hurt me, right? Um, And well, turns out he's a covert narc. Now I know that. But he was very, very on the down low. Didn't speak much, and I think this is what kind of attracted me to him. I wanted. I remember because there were a lot of guys in the house, and I remember they were, pretty obvious, and, with their intentions and stuff like that. And him, I was kind of drawn to him, I remember. And I couldn't read him. It was like a, static on a TV. I just couldn't, I always was wondering, what's his deal?
Right.
And well, I found out not long ago, but yeah, so he was pretty mysterious, and I guess this is what kind of drew me to him. So things went very fast. I remember that when he told me he loved me, it was very early on, even though it was my first relationship. I did think that it was weird. I remember that I thought, that's odd. Like, why would someone tell me that so fast?
Yeah.
So we all together stayed 9 years together. He followed me in France, so from Australia. He actually followed me across the globe. He's insane. Follow me across the globe. And we've been married 4 years. I'm currently divorcing him. Hopefully, I'll sign the papers soon. But so many things happened. I'd say things went awry when I discovered that he had been hiding from me an addiction. About a year ago, I found out completely by mistake. I wasn't supposed to find out. I was actually a student until last year. I just graduated and I got a bachelor in economy and management.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I needed his Kindle. And I remember I found out about a book on there about pornography, actually, and how to quit. I had no idea about that. So
So you found the book on his Kindle, that pornography and how to quit, and this was about a year ago.
yeah,
Up until this point, you didn't know anything was even going on with this. You had no clue. Okay.
nothing. He played the card of the perfect husband, the perfect partner, so well. You would not believe it. No way. And I remember when I found out, I kind of, put it on the side of my head, and I remember asking him about it. And I asked him, and I said, "What's about? What's this about?" And he was like, "Oh, it's nothing." And I thought, yeah, okay, that's weird, also. And I kind of left it on the side, and I remember maybe a few weeks afterwards, we were cooking and stuff like that, and I was cooking, and I remember I think it was my intuition talking to me, and my intuition was like, ask him about the book. And I did, and I was like, so about that book that you have on your Kindle, what's this about? Because last time you dismissed me. And he lost it. Completely lost it. He lost it. I had never seen him like this. Mind you, this was someone who was very calm, very, posed, very controlled. He totally lost it.
So you got the glimpse into the narcissistic rage.
Yeah.
And what was this like? Let me guess. It was like, how dare you even have gone through my things to begin with? It's none of your business. Or did he do like the whole? Or how did he rage?
He tried to shame me. I remember like it was yesterday, because I felt like I was in psychological warfare. He was like, "This is disgusting. Like, don't talk to me about this. And why are you talking to me about this book?" And I was like, "Why you've got this book?" And I remember as soon as he lost it and his behavior just completely changed, my intuition was like, okay, something's wrong. Something is so wrong. You need to carry on digging here. Something is wrong. And I didn't stop. I carried on. I was very stubborn with it. I was like, I'm not leaving this table until you tell me what's going on with this. Obviously, he tried everything in his arsenal to stop me. He gaslit me. He told me it was disgusting, that I should be ashamed of myself for asking this. He did everything possible that you could imagine. I did not. So this lasted 5 hours. The day afterwards, I continued, searching on the internet about that and porn addiction and stuff like that. And he knew I was onto him, so he carried on his, and he was like, "Why are you reading about that?" And anyway, this just started a crazy war. But pretty much, yeah, I realized that he had hidden from me a porn addiction for the entirety of the relationship. Never talked to me about it, tricked me into marrying him without telling me about that. And yeah, I wasn't gonna stop searching for answers.
So you started going through his computer to see, is he still looking? Now, obviously, now the book was called what again? What was the name of this book?
It was called Your Brain on Porn, which is it is actually a very good book. It explains the effects of pornography on your brain and how it is extremely addictive. Not only that, but it completely rewires the way you see people and you see women.
Right.
It is extremely bad. I mean, I'm not making this up. Studies back this up. I had no idea because I don't watch that. I don't need this. But yeah, he completely and utterly just dismissed me because he knew I was onto something. He knew that I was going to find him out.
Right, right, right. And so at this point, so this has got to be pretty shocking because it's like you've been married at this point. It had been almost 10 years, right, that you were married and you had no idea. And you come across this on your husband's Kindle. And at this point, you didn't even think that there was an issue in your marriage, correct? So this is a pretty huge issue, especially I'll call us virtuous women, right? Because I don't know how else to describe it. That we don't care for this kind of thing. We don't want it in our marriage. We don't believe in it. We don't want it. We view it. I have a video about this. We view it as cheating. And I'm sorry. I don't care if you agree or disagree with me about that. It's a personal thing. It's like if you were to go to a counselor, the counselor would probably say to you, well, that's something that your partner has a problem with. Your partner doesn't want that in the house. So what are you going to do to fix that? This is about personal needs, and this is something, obviously, like I would say to my ex, if you were doing that and it was problematic, or you were still you couldn't stop, that's something you have to talk to me about.
Yes,
and
yes,
and
yes,
that's very important for a partner to know before we were to go down the aisle. I made
yes,
that specifically clear to my ex that I don't want anything to do with that, because I had already had dealings with this. And narc number two was a porn addict. So again, the hiding, the shaming.
yeah.
You must have been a little confused, though, that it looked like he was trying to stop. This book kind of showed that, like, well, he understands it's a problem. So you must have had some confusion with that. Like, well, you might have thought to yourself, he's trying to get some help here, maybe. So how did you handle everything kind of going forward after this?
So to me, the problem was that he was clearly in denial about it, and he was able to hide from me this addiction for 8 years. This is an extremely long time. He
Yes.
had many, many times to tell me about this, and he didn't. To me, that's the problem. It's
Yeah.
not the addiction on its out, on its own. We all have demons. I have demons. We all have issues.
Yeah.
But there's a difference in between the person that says, you know what, I know I've got problems, and you have a right to know.
Yeah.
That is my problem.
And like I always say too, it's the betrayal. It's
Yeah.
the betrayal. It's the fact of thinking about, as a wife, that your husband is doing this when you're obviously not home, right? Because
Yeah, yeah,
how
of
else would
course.
you not know that
Of
it's
course.
going on? They're doing it the minute you leave the house, or
Yeah,
right, they know your schedule right before that's the part that hurts.
yeah.
And to me, that's why it's completely comparison to cheating. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now fast forward, you find out about this, you're like, wow, I okay, talk about the rug being pulled from underneath you. So now you're starting to dig even more, because is he telling you at this point, oh, I've stopped? Did he do that? Did he try that?
So this is where, I got into the rabbit hole, right? I remember when I found out. So he did not. Mind you, he denied this for 3 days. He denied that he had any problem with it, that was even a thing. He was like, no, it's disgusting. You're talking to me about this. There's something wrong with you, pretty much.
So what
And
was
I
he
was like,
doing with the reason why it was on his Kindle? The dog put it on the Kindle?
I know. It's like, what? But don't try to, find logic with these people. There is none. There is absolutely none. And also, they lie to themselves. They lie
Yes.
to us, but they lie to themselves first. And I had no idea about narcissism. I had no idea about any of this. And what I did is I did my own research, because this is what I do when I don't understand something and something bugs me. I research it. And I did. And boy, oh boy, what did I discover? I remember I posted on a social media called Reddit, and I explained the situation of what had happened, with him when I brought up the book. And I said, here's how my significant other responded. Is this normal? And everybody was like, no, it's not. Like, something's wrong. You
Yeah.
have to, so something is wrong, very wrong. This guy has a problem. Very highly likely you are his beard in appearing that he's happily married. Something's off. And I carried on digging. And what I ended up doing is, I remember that was on a Monday, and he went to work. So he traveled for work as well. Awesome for me, right? Because he was able to get away with God knows what behind my back.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Again, I would have never been okay with him doing that for work if I had known. And so what I did was, on the Monday, I started studying, and I compounded a 15 to 20 pages long thing about porn addiction and its effects on partner, on the person, and everything. And what I did on the Monday, I remember it was the day of Notre Dame, which is like a church here, burnt. I remember it because it was a big day here in Paris. And he was like, oh, did you see like the church burned down? And I was like, were you talking to me about the church? Like, whatever you're doing behind my back. And I was like, you do not talk to me, and you do not contact me until the end of the week when you come back home, because I've got something ready for you. And I got a 15 to 20 pages long compounded thing about porn addiction, what I had found out it was doing to me, to him, to the relationship overall and stuff. And when he came home, I was like, sit down. And I remember I read this to him in a very cold manner. I think it was my way to deal with it, because I had been, realizing that your spouse had been, lying to you and hiding this from you for 8 years is devastating.
Yep.
Devastating. It's, you know, talk about betrayal, right? It really felt like, a knife in the heart through the back. And I never forget the pain. I'll never forget it. And I read to him everything that I had found out, and he just stayed quiet the whole time. And I was like, are you a porn addict? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And then I carried on, and I just carried on for about an hour. And so what he did was he played the victim, obviously. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe this. And he really played the victim really well. So from this moment on, I just started, I carried on searching about him and about, because I knew that there was something else. I
Yep.
knew that it wasn't just a porn addiction for some reason.
Yep.
And I carried on, and this is how I found your channel, and this is how I found about NPD. And it was actually your video called pornography and narcissism.
That's awesome. Um, I apologize for texting. Somebody thinks their appointment is right now, and I'm telling
No,
them no.
that's okay.
It's been going on all day today. I don't know what's
That's
happening.
fine. That's fine. Okay, it's fine.
Oh, Um, sorry, and she's Australian time, so it gets confusing. Um,
Do you
okay.
want to take it?
No, no, no. we're on a live interview, so I just wanted to make sure this happens though, because when you're in the thick of this, the memory can get really bad too. With a lot of people have trouble with remembering times and all that. But anyway, so you were saying that you came across my video on narcissism and pornography. And
Yes, because I had started seeing a therapist online from Canada about addictions and stuff. And anyway, to make it short, I talked to different people, and I talked to a therapist, I talked to family members, I talked to a childhood friend, and nobody seemed alarmed by this. That my spouse was able to hide from me an addiction for 8 years. I find it alarming, but nobody else did.
isn't that amazing? Because you and I talked about this. It's amazing how much it's been shoved down our throats, forced upon us that, hey, get with the times. People look at pornography. It's normal. Guys like variety. Guys are visual creatures. And then I've even had girlfriends. I had best friends through the years that were like, you don't watch porn. I mean, I had a girl that literally would tell me, oh, I would be having sex with someone, and I would have to go and tell them, I can't finish this way. I have to go watch porn and go in the shower. I mean, this is how bad it's getting. And see, no one wants to talk about this. They want you to go over to their side of like, this is the new norm. Pornhub is free. Everybody should just accept it, and for many of us, we quietly are covertly um uh uh what's the word I'm looking for? We're devastated by this. We're disgusted by it. We want nothing to do with it. We think it has nothing to do with the relationship, and it doesn't. Has absolutely nothing to do. It's you might as well invite a third person to come on in. I mean, it's the same thing. Why do we? I had one person on my video for that, the narcissism and pornography, say, well, my boyfriend and I enjoy watching it. Well, good for you. I don't think good things are going to happen, because why do you need to bring that? What does that have to do with two people coming together in a relationship? And you know what? To each his own. But this video tonight is about the betrayal. It's about the fact, exactly what you said, that for 8 years you weren't, this is a major thing you should have known about, so you could have made a decision for yourself, because
Yeah.
we view it as cheating. And
Yeah.
I don't care what society tries to shove down our throats. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Mind you, so this might be TMI, but you know what? Cats
Hey.
out of the bag. Um, I many times, because I wasn't happy with my intimate relationship with my husband, because I mean, let's face it, he's a porn addict. They are not healthy people. They're normal people, okay? They don't have a normal sexuality.
Yeah.
Many times I try to, talk to him and say, hey, like, I'm not happy with this, and I'm not happy of, how it's going. And he had a major problem with intimacy, major.
Yes.
It was shocking, shocking.
Yes, and they do, and that's, I think, a lot of times for women that are keen to this, and we know we have an emotional side that needs to be met, and for women, we are emotional creatures. So we have to emotionally be able to bond with someone to even be able to have that other side that could potentially have moments of lust and moments of passion and moments of love. But you know, that trust factor is huge. And when you feel like something's off, or you feel like you're just body parts to someone, we'll just shut right down. We'll just wilt and just come back. We'll be like the turtle that goes right back into their shell, and it's just like, no, I can't. It really does affect the sex life. It does, because
Yeah, yeah,
they're being trained and wired to view us as body parts.
yeah,
And you can feel that, especially when you're in a covenant with someone and you have a marriage, you know, over you. It's very hurtful because you can feel that off of someone. And then,
yeah.
yeah, they're not. What is porn teaching? All the if anybody sees any of this stuff, unfortunately, I have visions of what my exes would watch, because I would go through their computer and be disgusted.
Yikes. Yeah.
Okay. But if you see what this stuff is, it's showing the man getting off, not the woman. It's a lot of it is very violent towards women.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we are just
yeah,
objects and creatures to just be thrown aside once you're finished with us.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
disturbing.
yeah.
It's disturbing.
It's well, I could talk to you for hours about this because I've been studying it, um
And that's why I wanted you on the channel, because you're smart.
these people have usually narcs usually have a problem with their mother. They have, I don't know about you, but I know that mine had one. He never came out and said it, but they, on the down low, hate their mother. They have massive mommy issues, massive.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they, start, being a teenager and stuff like that, and all this anger pent up that they've got, they express it via porn. They see the woman being inferior, and they can dominate them. It's a sick way of getting back at their mother. I'm sorry to say
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
horrible. It's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
And
I saw a lot of dynamics where the narcs in my life had their father was abusive, and the mother enabled the abuse, allowed it,
right,
became narcissistic themselves and
yeah,
crazy or whatever else, and was very dysfunctional themselves. And so there was this dynamic of, yeah, that deep down they resented their mothers for staying with such a horrible monster or creature, or the mother was the narcissist, like you said, and just a horrible person. And made deep down, yeah. And it teaches women. It does.
it breeds misogyny. This is
Yeah.
what it does. I'm sorry. Like I said, I could go on for hours and hours about the porn industry. It's it's disgusting. It's showing women being inferior, being used. I mean, again, I could go on and
You might as well
but
be peeping Tom and go around your neighborhood and watch people have sex, because that's what you're doing.
it's the same thing, pretty
I
much.
know. You know, you might as well go do that. That's free too. You know,
Yeah,
I'm just giving
it's
these
the
free
same thing.
ideas.
Yeah.
And think about all the serial killers. All serial killers, most of them, I had a book one time on all the major ones. Guess what was one of the first things in the chapters about them? They were all porn addicts. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
It's been proven that it's not only destroying the brain of the person that watches it, but it's destroying the relationship they have with others. And it's destroying the intimacy they have. I believe, and it is, I believe in America, becoming a health crisis.
It is.
Porn is, right? I'm not making this
Yes.
up.
Yes.
It is a problem. These people, and you know what? What if everybody was watching this stuff? Everybody would just watch that, and intimacy would die. And you know what would happen? Humanity would die. This is
Yep.
what would happen. People would
Well,
not procreate anymore.
they were saying that every adolescent boy's first sexual experience is going to be porn. Think
Yeah,
about that. I got to think about my nephew. Like, that is horrible to
yeah.
think about. Like, that's going to be your first sexual experience, is what is coming across that on the worldwide internet. What happened to censorship? Why aren't people making more of a big deal about this? You know what? At least in the 80s, they would take out the sex scenes and have censorship. They take out swears and sex scenes and things like that in movies. And now it's a free for all. 6, 7 o'clock on a Saturday in the middle of an afternoon. My nephew could be switching television at his house, thinking about this because they he's at my parents' house with the cable on, and God knows what he's going to come across. So anyway, but yeah, so I'm glad you and I are completely on board with this. I know we're not the only ones, but I want you to finish being able to tell your story with this. So you're doing all this research, you're finding all this stuff out, and you're realizing like, no, like you don't get to, and he's out traveling, so you know that that's not helping your situation, right?
No. So what I do is so when I read him, these 15 to 20 pages compound of what I found out about his addiction and how it affected me and the relationship and everything. And I say, at the end of that, I say, here are my boundaries. You go to therapy, you stop this job, which is not going to help you with stopping your porn addiction. This is a problem. And mind you, I come from dysfunctionality. My and I everything that I did in my life was to fight this. I will not be with an addict. It will not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not willingly. No freaking way. And he knew this. He knew this. And
Yep.
he trapped me anyway.
Yep.
And I told him, you know what? We all have issues. We all have problems. You get yourself in order. If it does not happen, I will divorce you. I was very clear. I was crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, he did it. I think he went to therapy for like a month or something. Obviously, he wanted the best therapist in the world on sex addiction. I mean, talk about entitlement and arrogance, right? I want the best sex therapist that can be. Okay. I think it was $100 an hour session or something. Obviously, with his job, it didn't work out because he was working crazy hours. Anyway, it didn't hold up. It did not hold up. And what I did is I gave myself.
You're not going to get healed in a month.
Anyway, I gave myself a deadline. I kept on. So what I did at the beginning was I was very supportive, and I told him, you know what, it's okay. Like if you have a relapse, but you have to be completely honest with me. You have to tell me about this. You have to say, because if I can't trust you, this is not good. I mean, I could not have done things better. I just could not.
Right.
I was betrayed beyond belief. And I was like, you know what? Rolled up my sleeves. And I was like, I'm here for you. I love you that much that you betrayed me. That's okay. I will be here for you to help you get through this. What did he do with it? Well, he shot on it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I gave myself a deadline. I remember I told myself by the anniversary of it was the 15th of April 2019, if things are not better, if they're not tremendously better, if things have not turned around, I divorce him. And I did. Yeah. Things that had not turned around, and I was like, I'm gone, bye.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on. No.
Yeah. He didn't stick with it. And he had other narcissistic characteristics, right, that we're not really even getting into with this video. I mean, I know the main thing that you found out was enough. It was enough. It's enough to be like, no, I didn't sign up for this. Mm-hmm. But, in sessions, you had told me a lot of other things that's when you did your own research. You were smart enough to get out there and figure out, okay, he's a covert narcissist.
Yeah.
And the lies, it was continuously lying to you. It was telling you he's doing things different and he's not. And so you made up your mind. And I don't know. He sent you that letter once you had decided that you were done. Very interesting letter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the epiphany, right? So I decided to separate from him during quarantine. And I said, I was myself, okay, you need a plan in order to get out. I wanted to stay in the apartment where I was, but I wanted him out. And I was smart enough to study narcissism and how to kind of repel them. So what I did is during quarantine, I grey rocked him and I knock injured him purposefully over and over and over again. I was a bitch. I was a bitch. But I had to. I didn't want to do it, but I had no choice. I realized that this person is not going to change. Because mind you, right before that, he was going over what he had said 6 months ago. He was pretty much telling me that his porn addiction wasn't that bad, and that I had reacted like that, but other women would not have.
Oh,
Like,
don't you love that?
get out of here! Like, no, no, you're just a POS. Sorry, but
Yeah.
take accountability for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Okay, you're not going to change? No worries.
Right.
So what I did is I rocked him and I knock injured him. Obviously, that got him out. So I was like, awesome. And what I did is a few days later, I just went to an attorney, and I filed for divorce. I was like, no, I told myself that I was not going to pull up with it past a certain point. This person is going back on what he said. I'm done. I'm done with this. No.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had 10 years of my life. My 20s are gone. No. No more. And I did. And about a month after that, I told him, get a lawyer. I'm divorcing you. You've been served. That's it. Game's over. And yeah, all the epiphanies and all this stuff happened. And so the famous, the letter of, I'm sorry, I realized I fucked up the relationship and stuff like that. And
Yeah. He had sent the letter. I thought it was pretty profound. I will do anything. I will, all the things he already said he would do, but he didn't stick to those things. And you would always find out more lies and more things, which we haven't even gotten into, of like all the other stuff he was doing. And I mean, the main thing, the thing I want people to hear in this story that I think is one of the most important things to hear about your story in particular is that you are your own person. Okay.
yeah.
You're your own person. You're your own individual with your own needs, with your own wants, desires. Okay. And what the narcissist does is the narcissist makes you forget. They want you to forget about that person. Come over here and live in my world. Come over here and just be with me and doing whatever it is I want to do and how I want to do it and how I want to live. Forget about you and your needs. And this is when you see all the tactics come in. Oh, I'm going to get counseling. Oh, you know what, Joa? Actually, you're being crazy, because most females wouldn't care about pornography. Oh,
Yeah.
they switch up the tactics of how they're going to get you back in place in whatever abusive tactic they can think up. But the most important thing is that Joa said to herself, no, I know who I am. I know what I want in a relationship. I know what I deserve. I know that someone has to reciprocate me on so many levels. That's a foundational level. Okay. You are a virtuous woman. That is huge. Okay. In finding of another partner. It's something that you deserve, because that's who you are. You don't deserve someone that's going to pretend to be at that level with you and pretend and they know that they're not there with you. They're trapped in their own demons, as you stated before. And so you said to yourself, no, this is something that I don't have to deal with. I don't have to wait around another year for you to see if you're gonna do this, that, the other. I don't have to sleep on my pillow at night to turn over one the next day and wonder what's in store for me with your narcissism and your lies and your gaslighting and your tactics and all this. You said to yourself, the answer is no. I move on with my life, and that's huge. Most victims, a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse, Joa, won't get to that point because they've already been so they forgot who they were in this whole operation.
He tried very, very hard. Believe me, he did everything he could in his power in order to diminish me. And believe me, by the end of it, I remember looking at myself, who are you? What is this? Why are you putting up with that? This is not you.
Yep.
You have values. You know who you are. What is that? And I remember, thinking, okay, there are two ways this could go. Way one, you carry on like that and you stay in your denial and you pretend things are okay. And something very wrong is going to happen to you. Very wrong. I could feel it. It was all, I could feel it was death. It was destruction of me.
Yes.
Or you pull yourself out. It's going to be painful, but there will be a brighter light at the end of the tunnel. And I knew it. And lo and behold.
Guys, I hope you are really listening to what Joa is saying tonight, because this is crucial in your healing process to understand this, that the grass, it's not the grass is or isn't greener syndrome. It's called, I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am. I have to get back to who I was if I feel myself slipping away, and I got to do something about it. It's amazing that you are so intuitive and so smart to understand that. You could sense that something very bad was going to happen to you. You could sense that.
I could feel it. I knew it. Mind you that, a fun fact, if we can call it that, throughout the whole relationship, I had dreams about 2-3 times a year. It was before knowing about narcissistic abuse and everything. I had dreams where my partner, husband at the time, would leave me in a very cold and callous way. Would come home one day and say, I don't love you anymore. I'm leaving you for someone else. I had no idea about NPD. None. And I had the same dream over and over and over again over the years. Lo and behold, I found out that it was an act, and this is how they discard. So I know that this was going to happen to me.
Yeah, it's betrayal. It's that ultimate betrayal, and whether it's that they're doing it, like I said, at their computer screens, to choose what scene it is, what the woman looks like, what her body, what race she is, where they are when they're doing things. I mean, it's so demonic. Don't even get me started on how demonic pornography is. But whether it be pornography, to going through their phone and finding them talking inappropriately to another woman that's inappropriate, to having a full-on side piece all the while, whatever it is. And most of them have all three, and then some. They're going to strip clubs, they're going to Asian spas, they're doing whatever. They get their sexual
deviance. They're sick. They really are perverted. I must say, I completely agree with you when you say that. They really are sickos. They have a real issue with it. There is something really wrong with it. We all have, our perks and what we like, and sure,
right.
But they really are sick. There is something wrong. And mind you, I took care of myself throughout the years. I am a triple XS. I go to the gym all the time. I'm in excellent shape. When I go to the gym, I get eyes looking at me. But it was never enough. And if someone is watching and is thinking, I am not enough because I'm overweight and I'm this, it doesn't matter what you look like.
Yes.
You could be a triple XS, have big boobs and a nice butt. It will never be enough.
Amen.
That is so important to know, because I started having an eating disorder. I started not starving myself because he would tell me my butt was too big, and I'm a triple XS.
Yeah.
I don't even fit into the smallest size of jeans.
I
You
know.
know,
I saw you get up a minute ago or an hour ago to get your glass of wine, and you are like
I'm
the
like
perfect.
this.
I know, I know.
It's
No,
never enough. And mind you, if you're too like this, they'll tell you, you're too like this. You've got to
yeah,
get fatter. And
yeah.
when
Oh,
you get
yes.
fatter, it's never enough. It
No,
will never be enough.
they
Never.
like make little comments about your shape just to get you to feel bad about yourself, so they can continue to have excuses why they're
Yes.
pigs.
Yes,
I want to make
exactly.
sure we touch upon too. You did have a lot to say, and you were very smart about this, about the spiritual stuff, and
Yes.
aspect of all this. I do want your commentary on that because you were explaining all the different narc channels you watched and what really you identified when you found my channel, and I want people to hear this too. Because you've seen a lot of different narc channels, correct? You saw a lot of different takes on it.
Yes. So I've been studying NPD for about a year and a half across the board, every kind of channel possible, to the most scientific, to the least scientific. I really wanted to, understand the concept of it. Um, the spiritual aspect of it. Before this experience, never had quite a proof. I was never quite, religious. I'm not gonna lie and say I always was. It's not the truth. I never quite got it. But putting the pieces together and then pieces from my past, because I was raised by, I was raised, my father married a malignant narcissist, my stepmother, who made sure that my life was a living hell. She she did everything she could, well, during 10 years, usually, to make my life a living hell. And I remember one time, um, I had an argument with her. She did not want to let me go out of the house or something. And I had my bag, and she was grasping for me, and I turned around and I hid up my bag, and I looked at her in the eyes and I said, "You are going to go to hell." And I remember seeing pure terror on her face, and I never forgot about that. She completely went white. White. Mind you, this is a woman that I was terrified of. Terrified.
Right, right.
She started crying and went to call my dad and play the victim. And I remember this stayed on my mind because I was never religious. I don't know where this came from and why I said that, but I, when I listened to your channel, at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, is
About
this real?
yeah,
Yeah, I was skeptical. But putting the pieces of the puzzle together, I can't deny it. It's undeniable that this. I'm sorry. I am not a religious person. I was not bred in it, but it is undeniable that this is a spiritual thing.
yeah,
There is no other way. They all act the same way. How can you explain this?
yeah.
There is no way to explain it. They all act the same way.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Why?
Yep,
Why
yep.
is that?
Um, I want everybody to check out this video from RC Blake's that he put out about 3 months ago. And what I'll do is I'll put it in the drop down menu. At the very top of the drop down menu, I'll put a link to this video. But he was talking about narcissists being demonic, and I love that. It's another person I look up to tremendously. Everything that this man has to say, I'm right on board with. Even if some things I don't want to be, I'm like, wow, he just, especially perspective for a woman to understand, like, you need to respect yourself more. You need to have morals, values, standards on all the way across the board. But what he said was exactly what I've been saying in my videos, in that uh even his colleagues, his friends, he has a whole mental health uh company that he sends people to for counseling. And he says even they are telling him right now it's got to be more than science can describe, because they're mental health specialists, and they're literally like, we're on board with this because it's there is no scientific explanation. And as I've been saying on my channel for a long time, there's world-renowned psychologists and psychiatrists that are coming forward and saying we think we have this wrong, and we have a lot more studying on this to do, that this is a personality disorder. Give us all a break at this point, like, we all know it's deeper. It's like you said, how I can't say that enough times. How do you describe that my story is your story, is all of our stories? There might be little pieces here and there that are different, right? You
There
can't.
is no explanation for it. And mind you, I feel like once I get rid of one, there is another one. I
Yes.
can't get rid of them. I can't escape these people if I tried. I am
Yeah.
not even joking. I'm divorcing an act. My boss, my new boss is an act. I can't. And mind you, he's love bombing me like mad. They
Sure he is.
they love us,
Yeah.
they can see us. I remember the first time I met him, straight away I could see in his eyes there was something. They there is something wrong. I really feel like they kind of target us. I don't know how to explain that. There is
Yeah.
no way to explain it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
um and mind you, since I've been watching your channel, um I So I started, praying a lot more, and this has been the only thing that's been helping me. The only thing. I've been,
Awesome.
and thank God for that, because honestly, there's a church not far away from my house. I go there and I find peace. And this is the only thing that, I feel has been working in order to deliver me from it. Is literally deliver us from evil. I'm sorry, it sounds so cliche and so cultish, but it's the truth.
I'm getting teary-eyed right now because I found myself all week telling people I'm coaching, for some whatever reason, what was going on during session, at the very tail end of the session, I found myself telling them, besides the coaching, and besides my videos and things like that, or other people's videos, I said the only solution I have ever seen for narcissistic abuse is God, and that relationship that you are going to now form through having gone through all this, because I think that's the only reason that people do go through this. I had someone ask me, just I think last night, uh have you ever had people say, you brought me closer to God, or you got me to understand God, and I never thought there was a God, those kind of things. And I said, it's amazing, but yes. I said yes, because I've had people literally, first session we sat down, like, I'm not really into all that. Is that okay? And hey, I accept everybody. I don't have a prejudice of who you believe in and what you do. That's not anything that I would not accept somebody for. But the most amazing thing is that, you fast forward to like a few more sessions, or even like a few more months, and they're saying, wow, something is going on here, that I'm reading the Bible all of a sudden. I picked up a Bible, and I'm like, that's amazing. And I guess if that's my calling, to be here to get people to see, then that's what this whole thing is. But I'm so glad, Joa, that you see it. You have been witness to this.
Yeah.
When you live around these people, and especially the time frame that you had, there is no denying it. No one's
No,
going to come in your life and be like, oh, that wasn't a demonic stronghold over your partner. He
no,
just has a porn addiction, and he's a confused 20-something-year-old. No, he's now in his 30s. And age does not excuse this. It's across the gamut. I'm working with people that are in their 80s, and I'm working with teenagers. And this is a societal issue. This is an issue that is much deeper than science, as we're saying, and it's much greater of a problem than anybody is even discussing. It's a major problem in society, and I'm glad. I plan to have more people on the channel like Joa who aren't afraid to tell their story, aren't afraid to stick out amongst the crowd to tell their side of things, to bear witness to what they have seen and not be afraid of what people are going to think, or if they don't agree with me, ooh, big whoop. Um, you know,
Yeah. I think it would be very, very stupid to narrow and not think outside of the box at this point.
yep,
And like I said, if people are watching and they're not religious and they have issues believing in it, I was not religious either. I couldn't even say I am religious. I knew that, that there was a higher power, but I
yep,
never quite had the proof of it. I can, at this point in my life, there is no explaining it. I can't explain why I keep on attracting these people.
yep.
There is no way. I'm a good person. I don't wish harm on others.
Right.
I do my own thing, and there is a reason why these people. I mean, these kind of people have been trying to get to my throat for since I was born.
Me too.
They loaded
Me too.
in my family everywhere. Just everywhere I turn, there is one.
Yep.
It's like, can I catch a break?
Yep.
Oh, no,
I
why is that?
I said to somebody not long ago, I said, I feel like I have had the same spirit chasing me since I was a little girl, and it's just
Yes.
manifested itself in different people
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's all been the same. It's been the same things that occur, and it doesn't matter. The dynamics of the relationship could have been different, like my best friend growing up,
Me
other
too.
family members,
Me too.
partners, bosses, it's all that stuff. But it's the same patterns of behavior, it's the same strategies used, and it's the same way it ultimately ends up making you feel. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I,
Well,
I can't explain it. So yeah.
well, I can't thank you enough, Choa, for coming on the channel tonight, and I'm really, really excited. And I'll make sure that when you do comment, I'll make sure to pin your comment to the top. If you guys want to check out that video I'm talking about from RC Blake's another perspective on this from somebody very intelligent, knows what he's talking about. Um, been around the planet another 20 years more than me, has a lot of experience with this stuff. So anyway, thank you again. And you're so beautiful inside and out. You're such an inspiration to so many people out there that are feeling the same way, but just, might not even realize it. But after listening to you, it's going to change people's perspective on things. It's going to help people to understand that you can get out and you can be feeling the way Joe is feeling right now, and knowing like your life is just going to go on the up and up from here on out. And I can't wait to be in touch with you in the upcoming months and years to see how things are going to form for you. I know God's going to bless you for sure. And he
Hopefully.
does, guys. When you get out, just last reminder to everyone, I can't say this enough, I can't stress this enough. When you get out, and it's literally like you are saying, okay, I'm putting me first. I'm a child of God, and I'm gonna bless. Um, I'm gonna put myself first, and I'm going to respect myself. I'm going to love myself. God really does bless you with that, and show you, okay, I'm gonna bless you too, because you're no longer hurting yourself. So it's huge when this happens. You'll see what happens to you guys, but you got to take that leap and trying, the leap of faith and trying to get out. I swear to you, she's got this new obsession with trying to claw the wallpaper, and I don't know if you guys heard me yelling at her before. No, that's my grandparents' wallpaper, and we're gonna keep it up as long as possible.
Yeah, it's just to finish, it's not easy. I'm still in, my recovery myself. I'm not out of the woods yet, but it's so important to, take it one day at a time. If someone is struggling and they're like, I can't do this, I don't know how, I still don't know how I can do this. You've got to fake it until you make it. You really got to take it one day at a time and think, I matter, me. And, I choose me. And it's not easy. It sounds very cliche, but so important that we choose ourselves first.
Yep.
Us, what we want, how we want it, when we want it, and fight for it. Fight, because it is a fight for your life at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Amen to that. Thank you so much. You have such a beautiful message to share with everyone, and thank you again. And I will definitely be talking with you soon, Joa. All
Trace,
right, everyone. And as always, I am Trace Face. It's time we all face the truth together.